Look at that. A whole bed of root crops going in from seed in March. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you ever wanted to know what seeds you can start in March, this is the video for you, because in this video, I'm going to show you all the seeds that we are going to direct sow right here in this elevated raised bed today. Hi everybody, my name is Kim and you're at Kim's Cozy Corner. I live in Southwest Ohio. I'm in Zone 6B. And it is toward the end of March, but it's a beautifully warm day, which is unusual lately. One day good, one day bad. But right now we're on the good side. And I wanted to get out here and start some things from seed. The things that we're going to start today are cool season crops. They can handle just a little bit of frost, just in case Mother Nature's not done with us on the winter side. So we are going to get these seeds in this bed today. You can see I didn't clean it up from last year. I still got green bean plants in here. So we're going to clean the bed up. We're going to refresh the entire bed, and we're going to use the square foot garden method to plant all of these seeds. I am going to have 12 different plots of things growing in this bed. Yes, I said 12. And in some spots, I'm going to have 9 plants. In some spots, I'm going to have 12 plants. This thing can hold a lot of food, and we're going to plant a whole bunch of it from seed right now. Before I start cleaning out this bed, let me just talk about the variety of vegetables that I'm going to start today, and then we'll get into the details when we get ready to put them in. But y'all, we are going to put carrots in this bed today, radish, turnip, and the turnip greens as well as the turnip, the root, as well as beets. Did I miss anything? I think that's it for today. Now, there are other cool season vegetables that you can start from seed right now. Another really good one right now that you can start from seed would be sugar snap peas. Well, I'm not planting any this year. I planted them last year. I think my daughter ate 2 off of the whole bush. So we're not going to plant any right now. I might put some in the main garden, but we're not going to put any in at this moment. I could also be starting parsley from seed and cilantro from seed, but I'm not, because it's not going in this bed today. We are only going to focus on this bed. You know what I'm growing right now? We'll talk about the different varieties in just a minute, but let me get this bed cleaned up first. All right, so we're going to take all of these little sticks out first. This is what I was using to separate into 12 individual little pockets. And we will put them back in and use them again. I'm going to leave the leaves in. Only reason I'm taking these big pieces out because I am putting in carrots, and you want to have nice, even soil. You don't want the carrot to bump into a stick and then it gets all wonky on you and it gives you a weird shaped carrot. So that's the only reason I'm taking these out. We'll get these over to the compact or compost pile. We're just not going to do it at this very moment. This is one of the Vego garden elevated raised beds. And y'all look, I get to stand up. I don't have to bend my back or bend at the waist. I can stand up and garden. And y'all, I like this so much. Guess what, y'all? We're going to have to put another one of these in over here. We're going to have to, just to save my back. So the only thing I got left in here looks like, I think I got everything, is just a few leaves. And you can see the soil has dropped. And since the soil has dropped, we're going to add some more Happy Frog first. Whew. And I use Happy Frog in everything. And Happy Frog is expensive, but I think it's worth the investment. So I just have to do a little bit at a time and slowly work my way up to the Happy Frog. If I get a little bit, it goes on sale, I get a little bit more. At the end of the season, I dump all of my containers into my raised beds. But eventually, I got to the point where I had Happy Frog everywhere. And when I can't afford Happy Frog, y'all, Miracle Grow was my other mix of choice, as well as Pro Mix. So those are the three name brands that I've used and were, mostly happy with. Happy Frog has all kinds of good stuff in it, y'all. Mycorrhizals, all of that beneficial fungi. You can find that in the Happy Frog. Now, if I need more than one bag, it's going to be too bad because this bed can't have but one bag. I harvested some carrots indoors, I think a week or so ago. And, I just put them on the counter. I went off. I was doing other stuff. I honestly had forgot about them. And I said, ooh, I can snack on some carrots. I went in the kitchen to get my carrots, y'all. My mom was eating the last one. I'm like, well, I guess I won't have any carrots. But I think I'm going to have to grow more carrots, storage style carrots, in the fall. That'll kind of hold me over while I wait for the carrots to come in my indoor grow space. While I wait to get out here and plant some carrots. You see what I'm saying, y'all? It's a system. It's a system so you don't have to buy it. All right, Happy Frog is in. Don't that look good? This bed is all happy looking. But what I am going to do is add some granular fertilizer. If I already had this bed fully established, I would only put the granular fertilizer in that 1 or 2 spots where I'm adding a transplant. But since this is the first time I'm setting it up for the year, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some fertilizer lightly throughout the whole bed, and then we're going to mix it in. My preferred fertilizer is actually Dr. Earth. This is second for me. This one here, this Garden Tone. But y'all, I'll buy whatever's on sale at the store. I mean, if Miracle Grow's on sale, I'll get the Miracle Grow as well. But preferred Dr. Earth first, Garden Tone's number 2. It's a super simple process, y'all. I'm just throwing it in here and we're gonna mix it up. And I'm sure there's directions on there to tell me how much I need. Yeah, I didn't read those. Y'all, my mom's laughing at me behind the camera. But she knows I'm being honest. Everybody thinks I'm trying to be a comedian. I just like to tell the truth. I'm either having a hot flash or it's warming up out here. Oh, I'm gonna get out of this sweater, y'all. All right, I've lightly mixed it in. So let's get out of the sweater first, and then we'll talk about the next steps. The one thing I like about this bed, it's got a storage shelf underneath, and I'm gonna put my sweater under there versus having to put it on the ground. And I got wheels that are locked, but I'm gonna roll this out just a little bit. Give me a little more working room back here. That's better. Y'all saw how easy that moved around? I just gave it a gentle push after I took the wheel locks off. But let's put them back on. Oh yeah, and right on the lock, on the wheel lock, it says on and off. Reading's fundamental, y'all. All right, remember I said I'm using the square foot garden method, and here's the book that I loosely follow, and there are many different versions of that book out there, but this is the one that captured my heart and my mind and my love for gardening probably about 10 or 12 years ago. My neighbor said, hey, here's a book since you're into gardening, and I never gave it back, and I've had it all that time. I don't think he missed it. Anyway, that's my preferred book to follow when it comes to the square foot garden method. Doesn't have pretty pictures and all that kind of stuff. It's just the real deal of what you need to do and how to grow a lot of food in very small spaces. Now, since I'm mimicking the square foot garden method in this bed, you can put strings on there or actually draw it out and fill it out. But y'all, what I did was this right here. I just put this and I said, oops, close enough. And then I went to the side over here and I says, yep, that looks good. I'm like, yep, that looks good too. And I did that all the way down. If it looked close enough, I said, let's do it. Now, is this exact? Of course not, y'all. I know it's not exact, but it kind of gives you the ideal of what I'm trying to do. And now they got these fancy seed starting squares. Now, when I first started doing this, I didn't have this. This wasn't an option for me. But there's this little seed starting square here that will help you determine how far apart to put your seeds. So we're going to play with that today. It also comes with this little cheat sheet that tells you, depending on what you're growing, how far apart your seeds can be. So for example, I talked about we're going to grow carrots today. Carrots, I believe, is 16. It is. Carrots are 16 plants per square foot. So this is your square foot, and it's a red, so I can plant a carrot everywhere you see a red hole. One of the other things I said I was going to grow today were beets. Beets is 16 per square as well. I think everything I'm planting today is 16 per square. Yep, I believe it is. But we will double check it really soon after I start telling you the next steps. I'll leave this up here for now. The next thing I need to do, y'all, I need to put in my little garden journal here what we're growing today. I'm so happy to be outside, y'all. You just don't. I can't explain how happy I am to be standing out here and the wind not knocking me down, and I'm not tromping through snow or ice or sleet or rain or something. I'm just happy to be outside. When I'm outside, I'm in my happy space, y'all. So anyway, we are putting outside right now turnip greens, and today is March 21st. And I have a place in here where it says outside versus indoor. So we are outside and we are starting seeds outside on 3/21. And I'm doing that for my radish, my turnips, and my beets, and my carrots. And one of the upgrades to the book this year, I put location, because I might have carrots in 6 or 7 different locations, right? Knowing me, probably more than that. But I have locations in here as well. So I'm going to call this my elevated raised bed. I also got the different varieties, which we will go over in just a moment. And I also need to go get my labels. Let me go get my labels, and then we'll talk about exactly what we're planting. All right, y'all, I'm back. I got my little labels right here. I got my little pins for my labels right here. And y'all don't think you can use a Sharpie out here. Sharpies do not hold up with the weather. They may be permanent on your clothes or indoors, but when you get outside, that sun will degrade it, and you'll be here at the end of the season trying to remember what you planted. So make sure you get some type of marker. It's permanent, but it can hold up to like the sun rays and the weather and that kind of stuff. All right, let's get to what we're planting, y'all. What we planting. So the first thing, so I have 12 options of stuff to plant. And I plan to plant each and every one of these with something. So the first type of vegetable that we're going to plant are radish. I don't eat a lot of radish. I eat a little bit. My neighbor eats radish, and I have family and friends that love radish. So we're going to grow French breakfast. And here's a better picture because these are not pretty pictures. We're going to do French breakfast in a square. And we're going to do this cherry belle radish. Maybe you can see it on this picture. It was a free seed that I got from GreenStalk many years ago. I grew it last year, y'all, and it was so pretty growing in the bed. So that's my 2 squares. Next thing we're going to do, y'all, are going to be turnips. Actually, y'all, let's do beets next. No, we'll do carrots. We'll do carrots. So I'm going to do, hopefully, 3 different varieties of carrots. I'm going to do the Shin Kuroda or something like that. Here's a picture of it. And for this one, this is the one I grew indoors that I wanted to eat, that my mother ate before I could get to it. We're going to do some corral. You know what? Let me just put the pictures up here because they're prettier than me holding the packs up. Corral, I grow it all the time in the main garden area, and so we're going to put it in here. And I'm going to grow a whole bunch of other varieties as well, just not in this bed. And then I'm going to do Rolenka. Rolenka gave me my biggest carrot last year, y'all. It's a storage carrot, and if I could get more than one that size, that would be great. So I'm going to grow at least 1 square of the Rolanka. And it was in this bed right here where I got that super big carrot. And then from there, y'all, we're going to go into the beets. I thought I had a lot of different kinds of beets, but it's really turnips that I have. So for the beets, and y'all, I didn't even know I liked beets until a year ago. I always got those red beets and they tasted like dirt. I didn't like them, the Detroit, whatever, red and all those things. It was completely disgusting. I could never get the sweetness because I was eating dirt first. I just happened to be on a trip. Someone did a mixture of turnips and beets and carrots. And y'all, it was so good. And it was not zero red beets in there. I found out what I ate. I'm going to try to grow them this year. I have a golden beet. I don't have a good picture. If I can find one, I'll put it up there. So we're going to do a golden beet. And then I'm going to do albino beet. The albino one is 55 days. I didn't tell you anything about days to harvest, y'all. But the albino is 55 days to harvest and it's super sweet and it has a white fresh flesh. So the golden beet obviously has a golden flesh, right? And it says it's very sweet as well. You can eat the greens as well. And I think that's true on all beets. I've just never had beet greens. The albino, white flesh, super tasty, super sweet. And they use this albino beet to make sugar. So y'all, this should be all right. And then the last one that I'm doing is called Winter Sun or Winter Sonnet, depending on where you find this one. And it says the golden beet just got sweeter. So I got the golden and a sweeter version of the golden. It has a pale white concentrated ring on the inside. It looks kind of orange to me, but I can kind of see the rings going around it there. I just wanted to make sure it doesn't say earthy or I would have messed up. But anyway, there are the beets. Uh-oh, y'all. I'm running short on spaces here. I only got 4 spaces left. Ooh. Somebody not going to get a spot. Let's see who's going to be. There are some other turnip root crops. And I've always eaten turnip greens, but not the roots. And I'm going for roots this year. Actually, this is going to be a bed of root crops, y'all. Look at that. A whole bed of root crops going in from seed in March. The turnip golden ball, which is supposed to be delicate grained, meaty flesh, never woody, 55 days to harvest. And then I'm doing, I can't even pronounce that. Tokinashi. It's right there, y'all. Of course, that's Japanese. It's a sweet taste, very rich flavor, smooth, with a crisp white flesh is what it says. And it says it's reluctant to bolting and becoming pitty. I just hope that is not woody. But turnips aren't really woody. I don't care for the texture of a turnip. Beets taste like dirt. Turnip greens just has a weird texture that I'm not crazy about. But we're going to do that one as well. And then we're going to also do the, I'm going to just show it to you. I'm not even going to think to try to say that because y'all going to laugh at me because it's that bad. I know I'm not going to get it right. But this is also a Japanese turnip green or salad turnip. It has a gorgeous golden skin, y'all, and flesh. It says you can eat it raw or you can cook it. That's what it says right here. It's a thin-skinned salad type. That's what it says. It says you can add it to soups as well. And then, y'all, I get down to one spot. And, y'all, that's a problem because I got 2 left here. So somebody's not going to get a home, and I already know who it's going to be. So I'm going to also do the 7-top turnip green, which I absolutely love. I had it growing in here last year, and I was getting enough in here to make a meal out of, but I really need 2 squares, so something else is not going to get a home. Let me figure out what it's going to be because I need 2 spots for this one. I really do. Corral is not getting a home. Sorry, Corral. Put this one here. And then I got my 2 squares for the 7-top. 7-top isn't really about the root. It's about the green. That's why I like it. I usually grow the purple top white globe turnip green, and I would eat the greens and give the turnips to other people. Well, I'll do it. I can do the purple top turnip greens and the 7 top turnip greens, and it'll still give me 2 squares where I can eat the greens, and one of these 2 squares will still give me turnips, which I'm trying to do a root crop bed. So that's what I'll do. Now, I'm happy. I'm happy. It looks laid out. We know what we're doing. All I got to do now is create the labels that I need for these 12 different crops. 12 crops in one space, y'all. That's it. And they're all root crops. Well, mostly. Well, the ones are root crop. We just won't eat that root. I got the turnips down on this end, then the turnips meet the beets, and then the beets meet the carrots, and then the carrots meet the radish. I got the radish, which I believe will be my shortest plants right here, and then carrots, and then I think all of these are going to be roughly the same height. We got it all laid out. Let's go to work. Now, I talked about we're going to need to put 16 per square. So I'm just going to stick this down here in each one of these like this, and I'm going to drop a seed in all of the reds, and we will be good to go, because that's what I need to do for all of these, whether I'm talking turnips, carrots, beets, or radish. We'll start right here. And I know my squares are not exact. They're close enough, y'all. Close enough. Let's see how small the seed's going to be, though. Oh, that's not too bad. I'm going to just drop one in each one of these holes. Y'all, what I could have done, hindsight's 2020, took this tool and marked where the holes were, then dropped my seeds. Yep. That would have been too much like right. Too much like right. We'll do that on the next one. I'll move my square. And this doesn't tell me, oh, 1/2 inch deep. And this little thing right here, I think there's measurement on it. It shows you what an inch all the way up to 5 inches is. And I need a 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to push it down into the little spot it tried to drop into. And after I do that, y'all, I'm just going to take this and lightly fill in those holes. And I don't know, maybe I did it this way last year. I don't know, but that's how we're going to do it this year. And just lightly tap it in. So this square is done. Now we're going to work on the next square. Well, let me finish getting all of these seeds in, and then I'll show you the step we're going to use to water them in. When I'm watering my young seedlings in, is different outdoors than it is from indoors. So let me finish up and I'll bring you back. Okay, I have the bed completely done. I used the square foot garden method for the beets and for the radish. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I did not use it for my carrots or for my turnip greens. Those seeds are just so small, y'all. I just lightly sprinkled them in each of the spots. The carrots, I did the same thing. I have a little issue with germination when it comes to carrots, so I needed more than 16 carrots just in case they didn't germinate. So I sprinkled them and then I lightly covered it with dirt. But the whole bed is in, y'all. The whole bed's in, and we got a couple warm days coming. So I'm hoping with those warm days coming, we're going to speed up some of that germination. But before we walk away, y'all, we have to water this bed in. If I was indoors in my indoor grow space and I planted seeds, I always take a little spray bottle and I spray each and every one of these pockets. Well, we're not going to do that. We're outdoors, so we don't care about how much water we spill and that kind of stuff. I have my water hose right here, and we are going to lightly spray each of the little squares that we've created. Now, if I spray too hard, those seeds are going to move around and get discombobulated and all that kind of stuff. Let me turn the water on. That would be the first step. Okay, now I got the water on. Yeah. So I am going to just lightly water these in. First time I've used the hose this year, y'all. Really lightly, just because I don't want to disturb the seeds. Now for carrots, there are a couple of different things we can do to take care of our carrots. Carrots, you need to keep the soil very moist, especially until those carrots germinate. I've seen people put planks of wood on top of it. I've seen people put vermiculite on top, right? Because it's a good source to hold in water. And y'all, I actually have some, but guess what? It's in the house and I'm outside. So that ain't going to help me right now. So I might come back later and put the vermiculite on top. But we're just getting it all watered in. I don't have to worry about watering deeply because the one thing we've had is rain. And with the exception of that one bag of Happy Frog, this bed was actually in pretty good shape. So y'all, that's it. The bed's watered in, and now we just need to wait for Mother Nature to do its thing with the sun and the soil, the beneficial insects, the mycorrhizals, all of that stuff play with one another and get these seeds germinated for us. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. We're outside now. We're still inside on a few things, but we're starting outside, and I want you to come with me as I'm planting up all of my beds this season. So remember to turn on those notifications so that you'll know when I'm going to drop one of those new videos. Until next time, and I hope there'll be a next time that you choose to hang out with me at Kim's Cozy Corner. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.